Alright, this is how to make a character selection in Roblox Studio. So to be clear, this will be a 2D UI for the character selection. And in this video, it'll be more about like, I don't think I'll finish the entire character selection thing today. If you want to morph into your characters once you select them, might be for a sequel to this video. So yeah, but the sequel will probably come out in like a week or something. So first we're gonna actually make the UI. So you can just gonna add this to whatever game, whatever code you have right now. I'm not gonna make like a main menu screen. I'm just gonna make the character UI. So first, we're gonna insert a screen to UI. We're actually gonna let's name this something memorable like character selection, and we're gonna ignore GUI inset. Basically, GUI inset is that bar with like the Roblox icon stuff. If you don't enable this, then your UI, no matter what, it won't fill up that bar. But if you enable it, then your UI will cover your entire screen. So I always enable this, so it's more in line with what I put in Roblox Studio. But you can disable it if you want. I mean, this doesn't really matter for now unless you have like other stuff in your game. So first thing, we're gonna add a frame, and we're gonna make everything. See the size? We're gonna make everything scale. We're gonna have no offset. You might be like, why can't we have offset? Well, something with offset is if I were to like switch to a mobile device, offset would probably just make the UI thing just go off screen. So if you don't want your buttons to go off screen when you change the size of your device, you should probably not use offset. I always do that. So we're gonna make the scale and both 1:1. So it should fill up the entire screen. It's supposed to do that. And I'm gonna make the background transparency 1 so we can't see it at all. We're also gonna add another frame inside here. This frame, right, I'm gonna set to 0:10 for size. Except after we do that, you can resize this to be however big you want. I think my character section, like the UI itself, I want it to be like this big. And you can design this frame however you want. You can put whatever colors. For me, I'm gonna make the background just 5.5. I'm gonna make the background color black. I'm gonna add a UI corner. Now a UI corner is basically, it just makes the corners of your thing round. That's 2 round. That's better. See, you see how the corner is round? That's what UI corner does. I do that in most of my frames. So yeah. I might actually want to add a UI stroke too. Now a UI stroke is just basically it adds an outline to your frame, as you can see. You may want to make this more thick and change this to, yeah, that looks pretty good. Now you don't have to do what I'm doing right now. This is more of a design choice. You can change however you want it to be later. So now the next thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna get a scrolling frame. And this is gonna be where the buttons to choose our character are. Again, we are gonna make the size 1010, so it's offset, and you can resize this to however much you want it to be. Yeah, I want to make it this big. I also suggest putting UI corner inside the scrolling frame too, just cause. I don't even know if it works with scrolling frames. Actually, it doesn't actually seem to be working. So for the scrolling frame, you can also change like the reason why it's a scrolling frame, not a normal frame, is if you ever like run like out of like if your buttons don't fit, you have too many characters, you can just scroll down. So yeah, you can change how long the bar is and like the color of the bar, the thickness of the bar, the scrolling frame inside of the properties of the scrolling frame. So here I'm not gonna change it because I don't really need to, and I'm gonna make the background transparency of the scrolling frame actually a little bit lighter like that. Now, I actually don't know why the UI corner isn't working. Well, let's just ignore that for now. So, now I'm actually gonna add the buttons for the character selection. So, what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna make my buttons actually in a in like a table layout. So actually, maybe UI list. So I'm gonna add a UI list layout, and I'm then going to add some buttons. So click on image button. This again we're gonna do 1010, so it's, and then you can resize it to whatever you want. Which I can't really resize it. I'm just gonna manually resize it actually. So you see we have our thing over here, and yeah, that's our button. It's so weird resizing in like. Okay, so alright, so this is our button. I'm gonna change the padding. Padding is basically like the distance between each like button inside of the list. Easily change this. I guess you can. Actually, haven't really experimented with this, so if it doesn't work, maybe try offset. So I'm gonna make the scale like 0.1. Now the reason why it doesn't work right now is obviously because there's no other cells. So, and I'm just gonna put the image inside of the image button, which let me save my game first so I can do that. Okay, so something else I would like to mention, probably don't even know this, but if I actually resize my screen, you can see my button, it squishes. Now that might seem good because it resizes, but it's also gonna make your button look kind of ugly. So the only way to actually fix this is to add a UI. Yeah, there's a lot of UI things. A UI aspect ratio. Now this will, if you make it 1, it means no matter how much you resize it, it'll always be a square. And I want it like that. You can change yours however you like. And you can make it rectangle, I'm pretty sure, by changing aspect ratio. So yeah. Anyways, set of image. I'm gonna add this noob here. That is my button. So the thing is, let me add a UI corner real quick. So the thing is, the background of the noob actually like fades gray when you're about to click on it. Well, you can have that if you want. Me personally, I actually don't want to have that. So you would, maybe I would, but I'll make the background color like red or something. So if you hover this, it just turns. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this will work. And I'm also gonna make 2 buttons so I can actually show you guys it works. I don't know why it looks like that. I'll fix it later. And this one, I'm only gonna have 2 characters in my game. You guys can add as many buttons as you want, but yeah. Now, if you're wondering where I actually got these images from, I got it from my own game. Yeah, I'm making character selection in my own game. These are the icons for it. You can probably know more about the game if you join the Discord or just watch some of my former videos. And also, if you actually do stay in tune with my game, this character selection won't be exactly like the one in my game, and like, yeah, it won't. And it'll be more in tune with the old versions of the character selection, not the new one. So, see, there's a weird gap. Easily, we can do this by lowering the padding. Make sure whatever you want. So, yeah, I think that's. Oh, and make sure to change this to horizontal. Okay. Now I'm gonna actually make my characters in the center too. So, yeah, and I also suggest naming your button so you can. Yeah, you should probably name your button. Name your button. This one's gonna be noob. This one's gonna be bacon. So, we have our buttons here, right? And we can swirl. So, next thing we actually want to do is add a viewport frame. And our viewport frame, it's a really cool kind of frame. Basically, you can put 3D stuff inside of the viewport frame. And yeah, so make that viewport frame, and I'm gonna make it like how big? This big. This big is actually pretty good, I think. Now I'm gonna add a UI corner to the viewport frame, obviously, and I'm gonna make the viewport frame have a lower transparency, and maybe make it a little bit darker. Actually, I want to make it color. That's a good color. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're actually going to add a role model to your frame. Now the reason why I did this is because if you add any 3D items in the viewport frame, the road model will allow you to play animations inside of there, stuff like that. So yeah, and next we actually get the model for your character. The model for the character. So my first model will be noob R6 block avatar, and I'm gonna name my character noob. Make sure you guys do that too. Yeah, that's probably good. And I'm gonna do here is just change the body colors to look like a noob. I don't know why that's that. Why is that still that? Right. That's not the color. Right arm, right leg, torso. Alright, that's a pretty good looking noob, I gotta say. So, yeah, now we're gonna put this noob actually inside of our thing, and we're gonna put it inside of the frame. And we're gonna put it inside a folder inside the frame called characters. Alright, now we are also gonna get a bacon, because that's where the thing is up there. So let me actually just get character inserter. Let me insert a bacon. This is just, I don't even know this person. It's just a random bacon I found. So we got that bacon, right? I named this bacon. And yeah, that's a bacon, alright. I'm gonna put this bacon inside of the characters. Alright. Now what you're going to do is, remember we won't get into morphing the character this video. So, because I don't want it to be too long. I'm gonna add a local script into this frame, not that frame, this frame. This local script, you don't really have to name it anything. Maybe in the future we will, but right now it's just gonna be called a local script. And you will write for Ivy and pairs script dot parent wait for child scrolling frame get children do. If v, I will explain this later, but if v is a image button, then v dot activated connect, and inside of here is where we're gonna do like when you choose a character. So now I'm gonna explain it. So the reason this basically this top part basically just gets all of the descendants inside of the scrolling frame, right? And then it checks if these descendants are image button. So these two are. And if it is the image button, which are these two, it's gonna make a listener, an event listener, and it's gonna constantly check. Well, it's not gonna lag. So it's gonna check every single time you click the button, and if you do, it's gonna run the code inside of here. And what code do we want to run inside there? That's pretty easy. The only code we actually want to run inside there for now, probably more advanced in the future. We're just gonna put the model inside of characters and just put it inside of the role model and the viewport frame. Now viewport frames actually need a camera so you can actually see what's inside of it, and we're gonna do that later. For now, let's just clone it. So, oh yeah, one thing is important. Make sure the names of your button and your character are the same exact name. Your capital letters have to be correct, your lowercase letters, and your spaces, everything. Anyways, what I'm gonna do, once you click the button, it's gonna look inside the character folder and look for something called and look for its own name, v.name. Remember, v is the button, so it's gonna look for its own name. So new would look for model new, and then it's gonna clone it. And I'm gonna store this inside a variable called clone. Now we will put this clone inside of the viewport frame, and we're gonna put it inside of the role the model. Now once we do that, we're now gonna make the camera for the viewport frame. So actually you might want to do this at the beginning of the script. So local camera equals instance.new camera. Right? So we're gonna make a camera, and we're gonna put this camera directly underneath the viewport frame. So script.parent wait for shadow viewport frame. Now this camera, right? Now the viewport frame has to know what camera we're talking about. So we're gonna do script.parent wait for shadow viewport frame dot current camera equals camera. So yeah. Now once we do that, we're actually gonna do so now we have this. So the clone's gonna go inside the role model now all we gotta do right now is, oh yeah, you guys should probably, if it's not already, yeah, anchor. Make sure your humanoid root path inside of the bacon and noob and your characters are anchored, so it doesn't like get affected by gravity while it's inside of the UI. So we're going to then we're going to actually set the camera. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to make my camera just directly in front of the character. So camera.cframe equals clone with retired humanoid root part. Now, if you get an error on this line, it's probably because you don't have a humanoid root part in your character, which is kind of weird because you're supposed to. So anyways, it's going to go to the camera humanoid root part C-frame plus the direction the humanoid is looking at, which is look vector, times maybe like 8 or something, right? And I think that's all we had to do. And another thing I recommend doing is delete if there's any models already assigned a role model, delete those. So do if script.parent shadow viewport frame wait for shadow world model, find for shadow which is a model. So if it already finds a model inside a world model, it's gonna delete it. So this is a crucial part of the thing. So then we're just gonna copy this and we're gonna destroy it. Now let's see if this actually is good. So I kind of speed ran this, so don't be surprised if there's a bug. And the reason why I'm speed running is not because not only is it late, also still in school. So yeah, see, if you click on this, it actually does not work. So let me see why it doesn't work. Okay, so the reason why it isn't working is because the camera actually, we coded it to face the same direction that the character is facing, but we want it to face the opposite direction so it can actually see the character. So what we're actually going to do, pretty simple, at the end of here, we're going to do camera.cframe, then you go cframe.angles 180 degrees. So this will basically just rotate the camera 180 degrees around, so it can actually see the character. And 180 degrees is like a straight, like, yes, yeah. And also make sure to make it exactly like this with times equals, or I don't know if it'll work. Oh yeah, and also do math dots raid, because that's a rule you should always do if you're ever doing like angles. If it doesn't work, try to put math dot raid inside it, add it to your number, because that just converts the number to radians, I think. I just do it like in every single thing. I'm not really a math guy, so yeah, it works. So yeah, and just even it, and you see even the animation is playing. So the animation is actually playing because we put in the world model. If we didn't, it wouldn't work. So yeah. Now you might be wondering, why is it blue? Now, if we actually go inside your UI while you're play testing the game, inside of viewport frame, actually I changed the image color to be blue when I actually want it to be white. But if you want to change your background, you can probably make the background color blue instead. See how good that looks. And the ambient is basically like I don't know if you should really change this unless you want to. So yeah, that's the character selection basics. Though I promise there will be another episode. So yeah.